Hello, my name is Jenner from Terrytown, and welcome to your Jayco White Hawk 29BH. I'm just going to start this off by saying this is still being prepped at the moment, so that's why there's no propane tanks or anything like that, but eventually, of course, it will get done. But I'm just saying if there's anything that is, broken or obviously not here, it is still in prep. So just giving that as a forewarning. Otherwise, I'm going to jump right into it. Right here, you are going to have your front power tongue jack. So you're gonna have a light just in case you do need to hook up at night. Up and down for your little power tongue jack there. And then just in case this does ever electrically go out, you have this little black tab here that you are able to peel up and then insert a tool to then manually override this little front power tongue jack here. For your propane tanks, this is going to be a little regulator piece here. So whichever way this little black piece is pointing to is going to be the propane tank that is going to be used. I can't even get to the other side. So this is also very hard to do with one hand. Otherwise, right here, you can see the little red piece there. That'll eventually turn clear when there is propane going through. Otherwise, that just kind of tells you when your propane tanks are either dead or there's no feed going through. You have your battery here. And you have your battery disconnect here. So with this, you want to push this in and then turn to the right, and then your power will then be engaged from your battery to the inside of your camper. Right down here, it's going to be your automatic stabilizer jacks. All the, whatever you call it, your buttons are going to be on the other side for it, so I'll explain that when we get over there. Here are your low point drains. So this is going to be your drain for your fresh tank, which is going to be over here. But here's going to be just a little storage area. And then right here, you are going to have your city water connection. So your city water connection, when you get to a campground, this is going to be your main water source. So you just go ahead, pop this off, take that campground hose, plug it right into here, and then that is then going to feed water through your lines. This is going to be your outside shower. It's just going to look like the same one inside, hot, cold side of the lines. And then of course you are going to have your shower head and hose all inside of here. And then right down here, you are going to have your sewer system. So you are going to have a black tank pole on the right, a gray in the middle, and then another gray on the far left. So your grays are going to be for showers, sinks, stuff like that. And then your black tank is going to be for your toilet. So that's why they give you a black tank flush, which is pretty self-explanatory. It flushes out your black tank because there's going to be toilet paper and other stuff like that that will get stuck on the way out. So it just kind of helps make sure everything drains nice and easy. All you do is just grab the pole and then go ahead and actually pull it. It's going to open up and then of course drain. Leave that open, let a pressurized hose into that black tank flush, and then that is then going to activate that small sprinkler to help flush everything out. I recommend doing the gray tanks last just because those are the cleanest water out of the two. So it'll actually kind of help wash out your sewer hose before you do go ahead and eventually put your hands back on there. And right here, you're gonna have your 30 amp service power. This is your camp power, or what people call your shore power. Cable and satellite input right there. So if your campground offers it, you can get your cable. Your back door, along with your backup camera right there. Well, it's not your actual backup camera, it's just a backup camera prep. So if you do decide to purchase one, it will go right inside there. And your low point drains are going to be right there. So your hot and cold lines, when you do go to empty this out, you just go ahead, twist those open and those will drain. Inside of here, you got your sink. Will pull out into a little, what do you call it, sink area. And you have a little, why can't I think of words today? I almost called this your shower. This is gonna be your mini fridge here. And of course you have little lights inside here. And here's for your J port. And then to hold that little table area, sometimes you can put a griddle on there. If you do decide to put a griddle or grill on there, you have your little LP Quick Connect here. The LP Quick Connect is gonna help bring propane up to this. So you will be able to plug in your grill or griddle, like I said, and make sure that it actually can light with the propane. This is going to be your water heater. So this is going to be called your anode rod when it gets unstuck here. There we go. So this is going to protect your tank. So all the hard water will eat at this rather than your tank. So eventually this will corrode and break down over time. So you are going to need to replace this. So with that being said, whenever you think it's about 50% is when you're going to want to replace this. But otherwise, it just goes right in that hole. Tighten that down nice and tight. It should be a 1 1/16 socket. With that, eventually it's going to build up all that pressure. So that's why you want to make sure it's nice and tight. Go to the inside of your camper, turn on the hot side of your faucet. It is going to sit there and sputter because that's the tank filling up and pushing out all the air. So once that is in and nice and tight, and you have a steady flow of water coming out the hot side of your faucet, you can go ahead and turn this on. To empty it, just pull the pressure release valve. It's going to hiss, and then eventually when it's done hissing, that means all the pressure is released, and you can go ahead and take this back out, and then all the water will then drain right out of that little hole right there. Otherwise, here's the back of your refrigerator if you ever need to access it. Just little quarter turns here. This is your furnace exhaust, so when your furnace is on, all the extra heat is going to be kicking out of here. So for little kids, animals, stuff like that, just try to keep them away from this. Here's your fresh tank. So fresh tank is going to be, you want to take water with you out in the middle of nowhere. You're going to need to fill this up beforehand and then go ahead and bring it with you. So you have a little water reservoir, so you can have running water while you're out in the middle of nowhere. If you do decide to put a small TV outside, you can have a little cable or satellite input here. And then you have your 110 outlets or your power outlets right there. And then moving on, you're gonna have your little table here. So you just pop that little piece off, grab your table, pull it out. Then you're gonna have your light. Which, if you can kind of see the reflection there. But. And then you are going to have your little convenience package here. This is a 50 to 30 amp adapter. I don't know why you have one. So right here, you're going to have a 50 to 30 amp adapter, a little sprinkle hose or a outside shower hose. So this is going to be for any little spray ports or anything you need extra water for. 25-foot drinking hose, a 30 to 110 adapter, so if you need to plug this into your house, you can. And then you have your sewer hose, which I do recommend getting a better one, just because this one will last you a little bit, but it's not going to last you as long as another one will. And that's pretty much it for the outside. So we're going to move back over here. So like I mentioned before, it's still being prep tested, right? There's stuff everywhere, they're testing everything out. So I'm just going to continue on. Otherwise, you're going to have your living room lights, security lights, which is going to be for your outside. And you're going to have your awning light. Right here, you switch between your water heater and fireplace, just to help with voltage and stuff like that, and amps and whatever, just because you don't want anything to blow. So you can switch between your water heater and your fireplace. I'm going to leave it on fireplace so I can show you how that works. Otherwise, this is going to be a little Jayco command. So you're going to want to click this button here. This is going to be your source. So whether you want to set for AC, settings, pair device, anything like that. It tells you how far your tanks are getting. And then going to water, you turn on your water pump to draw water from that fresh tank. And you also have two elements to your water heater. You have electric and gas right there. And for your motors, you move in all of your slides and your awnings right here. So your slide, of course this one, the awning is going to be your awning. And then you have your stabilizer jack front, stabilizer jack rear. So whichever one you want to use, you just go ahead and click select till you get there, and hold extend, which is the EXT, and then RET is retract. For your lights, one are going to be your inside lights, two is going to be your outside lights, and then three is going to be all of them at the same time. So let's say they're both off, you can just click 3 and both of them will turn on. Otherwise, here's a quick menu for your water pump. You can click that on. And then here's one for your water heater. But moving on, the main things for your bathroom are going to be for your toilet. It's a foot flush, so all you do is on the other side, just press down with your foot to flush it. You are going to need toilet solution along with RV grade toilet paper to help kind of break down everything. make sure everything flows nice and easy. And that solution also helps kill smells as well, just to make sure, once again, everything smells better and flows nice and easy, broken down. And then you are going to have your keys here. So these little silver ones are going to be for your main doors and baggage doors. And then these little black ones are going to be for your outside shower. Of course, your microwave here. And then you have your fan and your light here. And for your oven and stove, you just click to turn on the light. You press in, turn to release the gas, and then you spark to the right to ignite it. There's arrows and everything telling you to spark it to the right, because if you spark it to the left, it will snap off. So you press in, turn, spark, and then of course adjust to the flame height. For your oven, it's going to be a little bit different. Right back there is going to be the little igniter and where the gas comes out. So you're going to want to pay attention to that. And then press in, turn to the pilot symbol, so it's a little flame symbol. Spark, spark, spark until you see that flame appear. Once you see that flame appear, then you can go ahead and turn to your desired temperature. And then for your refrigerator, right up top here, it's going to be where you set everything. So you have performance, silent, eco. Basically, of course, silent makes it quieter. Eco is more of like a power friendly type thing. Obviously it's not going to help the environment, but it's just going to help save power when running this for long periods of time. Otherwise, you just control your temp right there. And then the more snowflakes, there's little white dots there, but the more snowflakes there are, the colder it gets. And then for your freezer, minimum and max, you just slide it to whichever temperature you are comfortable with. You have your radio here, so just to turn that on, you just click the top right, which is also going to be a mute. So when it's on, top right, mute, and then to turn off, you just hold top right. But otherwise, you're gonna have your radio skip back and forward for changing radio stations. When you click this in the middle, that is going to then change your equalizer, so you can choose between treble, bass, stuff like that. Zone 1, inside speakers. Zone 2, outside speakers. And of course, the volume, you twist this little knob here. And then Bluetooth, AM, FM, aux, pause play, USB, HDMI, all the goodies right there. And then for your little, okay, think of it, your fireplace. Tap the right to then turn on. Left and, I'm just gonna work from left to right. I don't know why that's not working, but there's different colors. Time. So 6 hours you can change it to. Otherwise, there's the flame, that's up to 82. And then you can choose the flame color. Otherwise, far right is on off. And then for your bedroom, not really a whole lot to it. Just when your TV bracket is, if you decide to put one in here, it's gonna go on this location here. Then of course you're gonna have your input and your power outlets right here. Let's see. Right on here is going to be your breakers and fuses. I recommend bringing some extra fuses along with you just in case. It's just a personal recommendation, but I do highly recommend it. You can pick those up at any auto parts store, so like an AutoZone or something like that, for example. And then last but not least, right here is going to be your carbon monoxide detector. So obviously pretty self-explanatory. It's going to detect your carbon monoxide levels, but that little green light is always going to stay on, just to tell you that it's on. It's always going to run just as a safety feature. So going along with that, that is then going to always draw power. So whether you're plugged in or not, or going off of the battery, it's always going to draw power. And even with your battery disconnect off, sometimes, not always, but sometimes it can be stubborn and still run off of your battery, even though your battery disconnect is off. So just to double check that, always, peek your head in, make sure that's off before you finally walk away from your trailer after, putting it away for the winter. But absolute worst case, if that doesn't turn off and all the power is disconnected from it, just take the negative end off of the battery and then that will finally die. Otherwise, that has been your brief orientation If you do have any questions, please reach out or just go ahead and write down your notes and then bring them in on pickup day, and I can help answer those for you when we get to it. But other than that, that has been your orientation. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy.